Welcome into I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentri. This is our NFL Week 15 picks episode. Now, we've been off for a couple of these. We had the holidays and I was out of town. So I'm trying not to step on Tyson's heater. I'm trying not to be the cooler here because he is up 8.07 units on the season. Now, I'm holding this down. I'm down 8.24. So it's basically a wash on the podcast. So I got to figure this thing out. I got to get hot to close. We got 4 more picks of this thing. College football is done, so we're focusing our attention on the NFL. We got bowl games, of course, but this is a time that Tyson's going to try to go for the record here on this show.
Yeah, I think the record on this show is 1, so I'm sitting pretty right now. I'm just kidding. No, it does feel that way, though, sometimes. This will be NFL going forward for our, Friday morning releases or Thursday night releases on these betting shows, but we will have kind of like a bowl of palooza as far as we're going to pick and choose which one of those we want to bet on. The schedule is a little hectic, obviously, for your college football fans, so it's hard to fit them all into a single show, and then we'll obviously do some college football playoff stuff. But that's all for another episode. That's for another day. This is the NFL Week 15. Let's keep it rolling.
And Tyson, normally we recap, we don't hide, but it's been so long, Week 12, that's like, does anybody care? I'll just say I went 2-3. You went 3-2. So I was down 1.24 units. You were up 0.63 units. So, sir, you have the tee box. You've been hot. Let's keep it rolling.
Yes, and to start it off, and it's been a while, so I have to go back to the well here. My play of the week, say it with me, folks, it's the Chargers under. They're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The number here is 45.5. I am a man of my word. I told you guys if that number starts with a 4 and the Los Angeles Chargers are in the game, I'm probably taking the under. We still got 𝐿 McConkey injuries, J.K. Dobbins injuries. The Chargers offense looked like as good as you can reasonably expect when it's Gus Edwards and he's kind of skin and bones or bag of bones right now, and we're still waiting for Kamani Vidal to take over. Bucky Irving is dealing with a hip and a back injury, which doesn't actually seem to slow him down in game once he gets the ball. That kid is special, but I do think that Tampa Bay and Los Angeles this weekend are not going to combine for 46 points. Give me the under. I think Harbaugh is like 11-2 or something like that right now, and whatever it is, he's 9 and something on these unders. So it's been a printing machine.
It has. I wish, maybe I'd be up units if I just took them. If I was on the train, if I was smart and I just would have been tailing all your Chargers unders, I'd be up here with you. But
that's all 8 units, brother.
Just Chargers under. Boom, boom, boom. Now, here's probably why I'm down. Because I'm going play of the week, Jets -3, -118 on DraftKings. Facing this Jags team. Now, it was an interesting game. That game was ugly. I kind of watched that back a little bit to see the highlights because I'm like, how awful did this game? And it delivered on just how poor it was. Now, the Titans are a good defense. Jets have been porous on defense, which is like counterintuitive, especially compared to what we saw last year. But I think Mac Jones, back-to-back games, Tyson, I know maybe he's going back to the form what we saw his rookie season, but I got to see it to believe it. And I thought the Jets offense finally looked good. I know Breece Hall doesn't seem like he's going to play this week, but Isaiah Davis is giving them some juice. Braylon Allen's a really good running back. This wide receiving core finally is looking like we thought it was going to look like Devontae Adams is getting open. Garrett Wilson, he's not just running little 5-yard out routes. He's like getting down the field. And so I think this offense, and Rodgers looked healthy last week and comfortable. Now, they did blow it, but against this Jags defense, Tyson, you know what I've been saying. There's coordinators that I like to target, especially against veteran QBs. I think Rodgers is going to be comfortable in this one against this look, and he's going to be able to do what he did last week. So give me Jets -3 on the road.
That might actually be why you're down.
You've been I think it is.
My next play here, Brad and I have a show earlier in the week, NFL kind of recap and look ahead, and we talked about the A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts drama. We do another show on the Undroppables Network called Eagles Uncovered, where we dove into it as well. Brad gave out a pretty bold prediction that he thinks this guy's going to get a ton of catches. I can't go with the catches, Brad, but give me A.J. Brown 100-plus yards. I think they hear the noise. I think Sirianni loves to play into the narrative, and I also think he's one of the better players in the entire NFL. And look, Joey Porter Jr. is a tough matchup for anybody. All this stuff, and the Steelers' defense is great. Give me a couple slants where this kid just turns up field and just does what he does with the football afterwards, and I think we're going to to get some deep shots here. I think the Steelers can be susceptible to that as long as, the one safety you don't want to see probably in the entire NFL isn't on that side of the field. I think Kellen Moore is going to be able to figure that out. Give me AJ at 100 plus yards at plus 188 on FanDuel.
That is a huge number. We were looking over that, and I was like, whoa, that's monstrous, especially with the narrative. And then I was going to end with A.J. Brown. Tyson, I'll just drop it right now. Keep the A.J. train rolling. How about 6+ catches? Minus 102 on FanDuel. Now, Tyson mentioned our other show. My bold prediction for the game was 10+. So if I'm getting 6+, basically at even money, come on, you got to give it to me. Let's go, A.J. Brown. Big day, big week for Tyson and I.
Big day, AJ. My next one is another little callback to our show earlier this week where we are just hoping for some points in this game. I'm going with the over in the Bills-Lions game. Sure, I'm stepping it as 54.5. I don't care. This is Josh Allen. This is your MVP frontrunner. This is an offense that's getting Dalton Kincaid back. We'll see about Keon Coleman and those guys, but they seem like they're getting healthy. The Lions' defense has been awesome this season, and if you're watching, you know that, but it still kind of feels interesting that this Detroit Lions defense is so good. They don't have to play 17 every week. And I think that Josh Allen scores enough points. The Lions can keep up with anybody. And honestly, they are the ones I think that put the pedal down here in the dome and say, you got to keep up with us. And Josh Allen always obliges in those games.
Okay. I like it. I saw that number. I was a little scared. I know I mentioned
dude.
It's high, but it could be fireworks. That's for sure. I think the Falcons are going to get back on track. And another callback to our earlier show. We're like, well, what's wrong with the Falcons? And we're talking about, is it time to bench Kirk Cousins? And is it time for Michael Penix? So go listen to that if you want to know our thoughts. We kind of came down and put our foot down on this notion. But that, to me, screams this is time for them to attack this Raiders defense. There's still question marks I have about them. This is in a dome, so it's not like you got to worry about Kirk Cousins going outside. It's going to be bad weather this time of year, and the Achilles maybe gets a little tight. No, you're in Vegas. It's good weather. You're in the dome playing a questionable Raiders team, and I think, honestly, they're going to have the ball a lot because I don't know how well the Raiders are going to be able to move the football. And so the more possessions I get, 23.5, it's minus 122 on DraftKings. Love this, especially because it might be that one Monday night game that gets out of hand because there's two that night. So I'm going to guess this is the one that does it.
Yeah, and it's Desmond Ridder, so you get to chalk up 6 free ones here for the Atlanta Falcons playing against that guy, and you get to take 6 off the board for the Raiders. Speaking of 6, Brad, I'm taking the New England Patriots plus 6.5 off the bye week. I like Drake May. That's where I'm at this part of the season. I think that this kid can play. It's interesting. I was thinking about this earlier. Like, did you see the Caleb Williams quote today about how he's asking other veterans, like, how do you deal with losing like this in case it happens again? I want to be prepared because I'm not used to this. And it sounds like somebody who might mentally be a little bit broken at this time of the year, but he's a 20-year-old kid, and that's okay. Drake May's from dysfunctional organizations. Drake May understands the way this works. Drake May went to North Carolina where there's plus 6.5 every weekend. And I think they walk in here, they keep this game close. I'm not afraid of Kyler Murray. I'm not afraid of the Arizona Cardinals. I think that the Patriots are live to win this football game. I'm also curious to see what this receiving core looks like. There's been a little bit of a reshuffling here if you've been paying attention, and it has to be for a reason.
Interesting. Okay, there you go. Tyson, I'm going to go Dolphins-Texans over 46.5.
So hard, man.
Minus 110 on DraftKings. Now, this scares me a little bit, I will say, because the Dolphins offense, sometimes that thing is just the worst pop gun. I mean, why the hell is Tyreek Hill just running 2-yard out routes? It makes no sense. Mike McDaniel, the bloom is off the road. So that is for damn sure. This Texans offense, CJ Stroud has regressed. Like, yeah, it's okay, people. We can say that. It doesn't mean he sucks. It's just he's regressed, and he's a second-year player. I don't think we're going to see that in this game. This, to me, has fireworks show written all over it. We know the Texans are better at home than they are on the road. If the dome for the Dolphins can be a controlled environment, they don't have to worry about an outside environment, things like that. So they go into NRG. I think this is going to be a high-scoring, high-flying affair. Give me over 46.5.
Yeah, it's a fast field too, and I'm really interested to watch Nico Collins kind of lace him up here against the premier corner in the NFL. It feels like we kind of missed that when he was hurt. The games that he missed were the games that we were looking forward to see him play some of these top flight corners. So I think that's a matchup. Brad, Bo Nix currently sits here for NFL AP Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's plus 230. Jalen Daniels is minus 270. What does Bo Nix have to do to catch up for this Rookie of the Year race? Because we were ready to stamp Jaden Daniels' name on this thing about week 8.
I think he just keeps doing what he's doing, to be honest. I mean, he's been great, not turning the football over, putting up yards, putting up touchdowns. He just keeps doing that. And I got to say, Commanders, it's not necessarily safe. Now, they won the game, was it 2 weeks ago at this point because they're on the bye. Really helped them out. We'll see how they respond. But, boy, Tyson, I got to say, this is closer than people are thinking it is.
And I think that Bo Nix is going to keep doing what he's doing here at home, off the bye, playing against the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, the Colts are not dead. They're playing for something. Sean Payton off a bye, I think, is going to rip Gus Bradley in this cover three. Like whatever's going on in Indianapolis, the defense has kind of gotten a little bit better as the season's progressed. This is the time when Cortland Sutton has 100 yards, when Devon Vele looks good, when this running attack, which, by the way, I was ready to bury Javonte Williams. He's looking a little bit better. Jaleel McLaughlin's got a ton of pop, and Audric Estime, when he gets the ball, seems to offer something unique. And I think that they had the chance to kind of analyze all those things. I'm not a Sean Payton guy, but the guy can coach offense, and I think that's really all you need here to cover this 4 number at -110 on MGM. Give me the Broncos.
You guys have no clue how painful it was for Tyson to say Sean Payton is going to do anything positive. But if it helps him with money,
he's going to go Botox over the bye.
He looked tan, didn't he?
Yeah, something.
Or I'm thinking a couple weeks ago, I was like, "Woo, Sean Payton's looking tan. What's going on in Denver?" Okay, that's Tyson's final play. Now I'm going to wrap up with. I got 2 more, and ladies and gentlemen, come on, it's the teaser time. First, I'm taking Bills up to 8.5. Second leg, Browns +10. This is a 6-point teaser, -120 on DraftKings. Now, Bills 2.5 here against the Lions. Just give me the points. I think over a touchdown, it's fair. Shootout does worry me. Tyson thinks it's going to go over. And so, let more variance when that's the case. High total, so, it's a little bit scarier. But I think the Bills, like Tyson said, they're going to want to respond after what happened against the Rams. They can score points. This, to me, screams like this can be a field goal game one way or the other. On the flip side, the Browns +10, scary number there. But at home, Chiefs just got lucky again against the Chargers. Primetime game. They won the division. They can kind of exhale a little bit. They accomplished their first goal. And it would just be so NFL, so Browns, so Jameis Winston for them to be the ones, to follow up hand Kansas City their second loss, but it should have been like 6 other times throughout the season.
Yeah, that Browns number is terrifying. They could win the game. That's the thing with this Browns team. What has happened to Jerry Jeudy? I thought this guy stunk. Did Jameis Winston wake him up, or was this just the route runner we were promised from Bama?
Well, I think the second one for sure. But if I'm being tongue-in-cheek, I thought you were going to give your boy LeBron a shout-out. He's back in the city of champs, city of greatness.
Something like that. Yeah, he's not playing anymore. Like, it's fine.
Final one for me. Seahawks +8.5, Bears +12.5, -120 on DraftKings. Second 6-point teaser. We highlighted the Seahawks-Packers game as a preview of ours. This one's scary because this is Jekyll and Hyde Geno, and I feel like I always get the Jekyll, or maybe I get the Hyde. I'm not quite sure who's the good and who's the bad here, but I'm hoping I get the good on the 8.5. I think at home, in front of the crowd, I know LaFleur's been really good. This defense feels a little bit different now for the Seahawks ever since the bye. Mike McDonald seems to have things dialed up. Maybe get a couple turnovers from Jordan Love, gives a couple away. On the flip side, Geno's able to take care of the ball, tack down the field. Jackson Smith-Njigba turning into the number 1, which I think is great for this offense. And then Zach Charbonnet. I don't know if Ken Walker's going to play, but, man, is there a
he missed practice again today. We're recording Thursday. He missed practice again. It's not looking great for Ken.
It is not, but maybe there's an upgrade to Charbonnet. Oh, my God. Fantasy football people are going to kill me. So I'm going to take Seahawks +8.5 at home. On the flip side, divisional game, I'm going to take the Bears up to 12.5. Listen, everybody's down on them, right? You fire Eberflus. Everybody thought there was going to be the bounce. They got smoked, absolutely smoked by the 49ers. But, that's a bad spot for the Bears, to be completely honest with you. And so I think in this game, going into the Dome, a little bit more time to prepare. With Thomas Brown, the new head coach, the interim, I think they're going to keep it close, man. I know Flores is going to blitz Caleb Williams. The offensive line is atrocious, but he's been doing a good job when he doesn't have to think. And when he just reacts and plays, that's when he's been at his best. So I think they're going to put him in those situations to succeed. So I'll take the double digits as a divisional dog here.
They didn't get the interim coach bump. Like, they got destroyed, and that probably sank some parlays. I'm glad we didn't have the show last week. I probably would have given that one out. Brad, just as like an aside, this is not an official play, but this is something that we've mentioned over and over again on both our NFL show and our college show. We were kind of kicking it around before the show started. There's not really a walk-away number one pick this year in the NFL draft. Shedeur Sanders sits here at -125 on FanDuel, and then you go to Travis Hunter at +250. That's never going to happen. Cam Ward at +380. I don't think that's ever going to happen. This is the last time I'm going to say it on the show. Drew Aller is sitting here at +3,000. If you put $10 on it, that's $300 that you win. The worst case scenario is he looks like crap in the college football playoff and you're out. You're out $10 or $100 or whatever unit size that you want to use. Best case scenario is that Penn State walks their way to the semifinals. This kid shows up to the Underwear Olympics and throws the football 400 yards, from his knees and does all the crazy stuff. And this number is going to get real close to even money. Essentially, I think Drew Aller is your Blake Bortles. He's your Carson Wentz. He's your Trey Lance of this class, where the smoke is definitely there amongst NFL teams, and the general public has been a little slow to catch up.
Yeah, now the draft community is starting to come out and say, "Hey, wait a minute, what about Drew Aller?" So that's something to keep an eye on. Now, Penn State fan like me, I'm hoping he stays a secret because I'd love to have him back. Fits our timeline super well. That's another show for a different day. Tyson, I was going to say too here. We talked about this before once before. Will Campbell at +4,000 offensive lineman. I don't think this is a very good quarterback class. If you want to take a shot on an offensive lineman, which depending on who's number one, that could be where you want to look too. So I know Shedeur Sanders probably is going to be the number one overall pick, but got to remember, Deion Sanders is also going to be heavily involved.
They're going to the Raiders.
We'll see what happens there. Okay.
And lastly, that's real quick, we got one more. We got one more draft thing. I got to throw one more Penn State name in the hat because it's not a quarterback draft class. It might not be the offensive tackle draft class that we were promised. Edge rusher is a premium. Abdul Carter looks like a man out there. He looks like Micah Parsons. He's wearing 11. All of that stuff. If he has a great performance here too to close the season, I think you're going to get some good CLV there.
That would be huge. That would be huge. All right, Tyson, let's get out of here. We're going to be putting stuff like that in our own Discord. So where can they find that?
Yes, the Discord app link is in the bio. Group name, as I said, what I said, everything you could imagine. Rams +2.5 tonight was the side of the Discord, and I think that should have been the side of America. I couldn't believe that when that came out. I was like, what's going on here with this line? I really think our community in there it's pretty cool, little fun group. So go ahead and get in there. Let us know what you're playing. Let's get some parlays in there, some straight plays, whatever you got. We're there for it.
And like, subscribe, and share the show. If you're, the drill by now, folks. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that MF like button. It does help us out. We're trying to do what we can here to continue to grow. So if you can share it with a friend, share it with an enemy, share it with somebody you're lukewarm on, doesn't matter to us. We appreciate the support you guys have given us so far, and so stay subscribed. We got a ton of content coming out. Like Tyson and I, draft stuff. We're going to do more of it this year, I think. I mean, we're pretty plugged in just based on how much stuff we've watched. So,
we finally got stuff right. So that's part of it. This is the first class where we're like checking off every box instead of just a couple.
Yeah. So we're excited for that. So that's why you got to stay subscribed. We got basketball season coming around too that we'll be diving into as well. That's our main two things. So again, stay subscribed. Don't miss a thing. Enjoy the weekend of football. It's weird without college. We got Army, Navy. So salute the troops. Got our first bowl game on Saturday as well, which is super disrespectful. NCAA should be ashamed of themselves, but it should be a fun weekend. Watch the NFL. We'll be back early next week breaking down what we saw and get you ready for college football games and the upcoming NFL schedule. So till then, guys, peace.